Mr. Loshner, you ready? Board members, are you ready? Okay. First, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I know we have a wonderful array of special presentations. I am going to ask that everybody please put their face masks on. We still have the COVID restrictions, and we should maintain them throughout tonight's meeting. With that being said, thank you so much. I'd like to ask everybody to please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Mr. Loshner, I think that we have a very, very packed house for so many wonderful reasons. I'm just going to hand it over to you.
All right. Yes, no, you're absolutely right, Mr. Feliciano. We have lots of terrific presentations this evening. I think. Oh, okay, that's right. You have to remind me of that. Thank you. So, yeah, we have a great many presentations this evening, highlighting really just some outstanding kids, really across the spectrum. We have athletics. We have really a research team that is just flat out fantastic. Hopefully we get a nice presentation from them this evening. And we also have a middle school student that has done some outstanding fundraising that I can't wait to highlight. So, with that said, I am going to introduce Mr. Callan. I know he's going to say I'm the proud principal of Brentwood High School.
Well, since you already said it, I'll say it again. But I am the proud principal of Brentwood High School. I have so many students some athletes here that are going to be represented tonight. And I know the athletic director will come up and present the wrestling team, who are quite a credit to this community and the high school and their coaches. So congratulations to them. But I'm here to present Lemuelson, I want to say it right, Lemuelson MIT Challenge program students. These are students, this was competitive national grant, is administered by the Lemuelson MIT program, a sponsored program within the School of Engineering at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, so MIT. Event team grants are given to teams of high school students across the U.S. who are tasked with identifying real-world problems and developing a technological invention as a solution. This year, 8 event team grants have been given to high school groups nationwide. So there were thousands of schools that put in for this and had a team, and only 8 were chosen, and Brentwood High School is one of and these group of students are one of those 8. So that is really, really a great accomplishment. I think they deserve a round of applause for that. They are shepherded by Mr. Mulderick and Dr. Grella up in the research lab. That would not happen without the both of them. They are outstanding teachers. Dr. Grella is constantly shepherding many groups of students in a variety of ways, and Mr. Mulderick specifically works in his engineering course with these students. And they do want to introduce a little bit of themselves, and then they have a presentation. I don't know if you want to do it now or towards the end, but they have a great PowerPoint presentation, and they're really a great credit, once again, to this community, the school here, but most of all, their families. And some of their family members are here. I'd ask for some of their I know 2 fathers are here of the students. If they could stand up, they deserve a great round of applause, because they support them, they support the schools, and like I said, it's a $10,000 grant that they won. And only 8 teams around the country, and they will go up, and what they're going to present, they will do up in June at MIT versus those other schools nationwide.
That's incredible.
In that final competition. So that is, this is the 2nd year that we have gotten a grant, but this year we are finalists to actually go up to MIT. So that's a great, it's another great stride for that research program up there at the high school.
Incredible.
So with that, I don't know which one wants to speak. All right. They can introduce themselves, and then they have a little presentation.
Yeah, no, come on up. Folks, introduce yourself, start with the presentation.
I'd like to say good evening to everybody. My name is Jonathan Taveras. I'm the administrative lead for the Brentwood MIT Invent team, and I'd like to introduce all of our fellow team members here that have helped us throughout the past couple months on this blessing of a grant we received from Lemuelson MIT. First, I want to present Kevin Duran, a member of our technical
Kevin is the only senior on the team, and he has a full ride scholarship, 4-year full ride scholarship to the
Wow.
Next person I'd like to introduce is Javed Chowdhury, part of the research team. Kevin Leo, part of the technical lead of our team. David Ramirez, part of the sustainability team for our team. Minahal Tariq, the sustainability lead for our team. And Rachel Jean Charles, member of the communications team. And one of the best educators in the school, Mr. Mulderig. I'd also like to propose to you some of the members that couldn't make it today to this meeting. Joao Perez is a member of the financial team. Raja Dioninen is the leader of the communications team. Ever Hernandez is a member of the technical team. So, as Mr. Callan said, we were one of 8 Lemuelson MIT teams that received a $10,000 grant, and we are very happy to have received it, and we are proud to show you our presentation today.
All right.
Can someone go? You want to go?
Good practice for when they go to MIT.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so the name of our project is The Muscle. All right, so what is the muscle? The muscle stands for the multi-unit sensor for climate and ecological monitoring. This device is going to be used to measure water quality data like temperature, salinity, and pH in salt marsh environments. We are also trying to measure the angle at which red mussels gape. Javed will explain to you in a bit, but the gaping action is when a mussel or clam opens and closes the shell. And we are also trying to make this a cost-efficient and easy to use device to collect quantitative data and make it easier for the average Joe to take this out in the field and collect data.
Yeah, hello. So my name is Javed Chowdhury, and I am part of the research lead of the Lemuelson MIT Invent team. Now, our priority for this invention was surrounding salt marshes, and they're very important as they're located along the west coast and the east coast, and most importantly, our favorite island, Long Island. Now, we specifically focused on Sunken Meadows State Parkway, where we spent our summer experimenting, looking at the problems of salt marshes, and salt marshes are very important for not only our ecosystems, but also our environment. Now, I like to put it in a way like seeing the salt marsh as a physical barrier between our coast and from the oceans. Now, if we didn't have this barrier, then our coast would erode in an exponential rate. Now, problems do exist within the salt marsh, such as eutrophication. Now, eutrophication is a problem where runoff introduces nutrients into these lakes, and with these nutrients, they profound algae blooms. And algae blooms are really bad for our ponds and our marine life because they uptake all the oxygen needed. Now, our marine life dying also will affect how our biodiversity works and our ecosystem. And I would like to say that algae blooms are really bad for our water quality because of the fact that it ends up in our water plantations and in our drinking water. Now, I would like to pass this on to... oh, I'm sorry. Let me just continue to the next slide. One of our biggest proposals for this project was actually working with a native species known as the rib muscle, or the scientific name Jagensia demisa. Now, Jagensia demisa is a stress organism, which is very cool because they actually react to the surrounding environment, such as the salinity, the pH, and the temperature change. Now, we wish to put a sensor on these which can monitor the gape. And while monitoring the gape, as Jonathan said, we can correlate it to the environmental changes. And our sonde will work corresponding to this gaping to give in with the shellfish research program.
All right, so I am technical lead, so of course I have to speak this part. So basically the tech inside our machine is built around a 3D printed enclosure, which is it's an elliptical design, but it's a fancy way of saying it looks like an egg almost. So in here we place our microcontroller at the top part, and we have it waterproof, so it will be able to receive data sent from the sensors, which is salinity, pH, and temperature. So after this, the data is sent to the SD cards. After the data is sent to the SD cards, we have it speak through a radio communication. It's called LoRa. It's a really, really cool thing where you can have long distance range talks and use very little energy. So we're going to use this as you're going to carry another module, a very small module, which will then convert it to Bluetooth, which you can carry in your pocket, and you'll be able to view the data right on your phone. And as you can see, there we have some rough designs on there. That top piece on the right is we call it the wiffle ball. That's going to be what's going to be dropped in the water to protect the sensors, and it's going to allow water to come in through, but still protect the sensors from being damaged and giving you faulty readings. As well as we have Ever and Joel up there, which are fooling around and understanding how our code works, as them two couldn't make it today. So that's like a nice little way you can see their faces. And this is our website, which is being built with HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. And this is something that Kevin has been working on quite a bit, so I can hand it off to him.
Hi, my name is Kevin Duran. I'm part of the technical team for the MIT Invent team. And part of my role was getting the data from the SD card and creating a REST API to basically store this data onto the cloud. And from there, creating the website that will let you log into your own account and then see that data in a more visually appealing ways in a graph that we made that represents each of the different sensors. Right now we have the pH sensor, the temperature sensor, and the salinity sensor. And from your account, you'll be able to see the time range and all the data plotted nicely on the graph, showing the readings from all these sensors.
I don't know if you guys want to show the website now. Would you have it open right now? All right, here we go. You can lead them through.
Okay. Now you can see the website. Okay, so we're just going to do a quick demonstration of the website we're working on right now. So as you can see, this would be like the landing page of the website itself. And if you go to login, you would simply log into your account. So Kevin's just going to log in right now. And this would be the page that shows you the information from the sensors that are stored in your account. Right now you would simply specify the date range that you would like to look at from the readings itself. And this is it's not real data that we collected yet, it's just some sample data that we threw up to show the demonstration. But simply this is reading directly from the API itself, and The point of this is to make sure that when you wanted to upload the data from the SD card, you would be able to view it on any device. If you wanted to look at it through your phone or through any computer, just so it's not stored on one device and you're able to access it from anywhere. So you could like show anyone you wanted to. Go up. And like the 3 different sensors are showed up there. So if he clicked temperature and he wanted to view the data from that date range, he'd simply do that and it would show the data from that date range. So Javed was working on an about page to display all of us on. Oh, this is the wrong.
I think I was finished yet. Robert, do you want to read that? Do you want to read that? We prepared one for each one of the kids.
All right, so to close this presentation off, we'd like to invite you guys to our mid-grant technical review for MIT. Up on the screen is a link shown where you could sign up and you could see us present this project to MIT and many other people that will be joining the event. Thank you.
Thank you.
So just before everybody goes, we have a certificate for every one of the students involved in this program, and it reads as follows. The certificate is awarded to the particular student for your outstanding work as a member of the Lemuelson MIT Invent Team and for your perseverance and determination in pursuit of your education on behalf of the board, superintendent, and central administration. Congratulations so much.
All right. Can we get a quick picture?
So I think it's picture time,
It's
isn't it?
picture time.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Mr. Lochner, I think you have the next one also.
Yes, it is my pleasure now to introduce an outstanding young lady, Maria Flores. I'm just going to read a little bit about what Maria did. She actually collected, or fundraised, I should say, $1,000 for autism research, and I think that is absolutely outstanding. Obviously, community service means a great deal to Maria. And, she has been working on this since last May. And I think she's going to explain it a little bit further, but I believe that her whole organization hopes to raise $8,000 collectively. And Maria, by herself, raised $1,000 of that. Truly outstanding. It's obviously autism research. And the research in particular is trying to determine how autism impacts each of us. So I think it's an outstanding endeavor, and I really wanted to recognize Maria for her efforts. So congratulations, Maria. Now, come on up. So I'm going to got my mask. Hang on. But first, Maria, if you could just step up to the mic for 1 second. We're gonna put Maria on the spot here. And we're gonna ask you, I know Maria, I gave you about 5 minutes to come up with this, but we're gonna ask you if you could explain a little bit further your research.
You're okay. I got you.
And we have a proud mom right here, Barbara, who works for us. That's okay, Maria. Oh, okay. So you know what? That's okay, Maria. So, okay, Maria, thank you so, Maria, we are so thrilled that you did this. What an outstanding. Folks, can we give Maria one more round? Maria, they are here for your efforts, Maria. That is so outstanding, Maria. That was so thoughtful and so kind and generous of you to do this.
That's one of the pins what they sold. And the money she raised is going to direct research. It's not going to a company or corporation who's going to give grants. This is direct research. And it's the youth group she belongs to is girls ranging from 10 to 21, and it was their decision to do this, and they're continuing it for next year. They've done different community service. They've done American vet dogs, dyslexia research, all these wonderful things. And especially during COVID, to raise this kind of money and teenage girls, it speaks a lot of volumes.
Oh my God. Incredible that you would do this. We are so proud of you, Maria. The Board of Education, this entire community is so proud of you. And so thoughtful and so gracious to do it, as you mentioned, during COVID. Okay, when a lot of people are just, staying home, you're out there fundraising. What a beautiful thing. So we wanted to honor you. So thank you so much for being here. So, can you take a picture with us? It would mean the world to us if you took a picture with us. Okay, and Mom. All right? So the Board of Education.
Really get in trouble.
Can we take a picture?
Yes.
Come on, Maria.
Great job.
Everybody. 1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I should tell you, Maria and Ms. Flores, I think you're going to get some additional donations. I have, Ms. Como asked if I could, give out the website where they make the donations.
Our website has maybe a link.
We'll certainly get some more.
And the director also wants to know if the district would be interested in her coming down for a professional development training. So she'll would love to speak to the district and to the teachers about their research in autism and especially in a diverse community like Brentwood. The information we can provide to them to help them.
Boy, we are really putting the pressure on Maria tonight, man.
Just from her body language, I'm not really sure she knew she was going to volunteer for that.
So Maria, this is going to be one of your most memorable evenings, for good reasons and bad reasons.
Listen, how about one more round of applause for Maria? Mr. Lotion, I think we have another one on the agenda.
We do. This is did I see Mr. Herrera? Okay, great. So we are introducing the wrestling team this evening, who I have to say have represented Brentwood. They're incredible ambassadors for Brentwood. They are determined athletes, but they're also incredible gentlemen. And I know that that is really the hallmark of what Coach Napolitano and his entire staff actually, that's kind of what they expect of their athletes. And I want to say, as superintendent, obviously, I'm so proud to see them at different events, how they conduct themselves as such gentlemen. But then when they get out on the mat, there's really very few people that like to compete against Brentwood wrestlers because of their tenaciousness and their athleticism. It's really quite remarkable to watch each one of these kids. But we're here to honor the wrestling team as well as Coach Ralph Napolitano, who actually received his 300th win as a wrestling coach this year. And what I've always said is that, Ralph, Coach Ralph has really has built a family for the many years that he has been coaching. That's evidenced by the amount of alumni that continue to go to wrestling matches, and also the way alumni have been impacted. You see alumni 2, 3, 5, 10 years out that still value the lessons that Coach Napolitano as an entire staff has put in. So we are really blessed and fortunate to have Ralph as a teacher over at North Middle School, and I wish that everybody could watch Coach Ralph or Ralph Napolitano during the day as a phys ed teacher, because I don't know if anybody actually ever has any more fun than Ralph. It never looks like work with Ralph. He just loves the kids, and the kids love him. It's really outstanding to watch. And I probably spoke too much, because now I'm going to introduce someone who's going to speak even more. So it is now my pleasure to introduce the athletic director, who's going to introduce the wrestling team as well as Coach Ralph.
So first of all, I
Mr. Herrera, I mean, all speakers can take off their masks while
Oh,
they're up
okay.
there, all right? So,
Appreciate it. First of all, just following the wonderful Maria and the MIT crew is just, what a great job you guys have done. Thank you guys for everything you do for us. Good evening. My name is Francisco Herrera, and much like Mr. Callen, I too am the very proud Coordinator of Health and Physical Education and Athletics here at Brentwood. First of all, I want to thank everyone here up at the dais, our Board of Education, our superintendents, and especially the community for allowing me the opportunity to acknowledge these coaches and young men here tonight. So thank you for that. I also want to thank you for your continuous support with athletics, because athletics is a big part of the Brentwood community. And the great news that comes out of athletics is just, you know, it puts a smile on everyone in the community's face. So thank you very much for that as well. As a former Brentwood athlete, a student, phys ed teacher for a long time, and now a coordinator of athletics, I know what it is to have in me the Brentwood pride. And anyone standing over there also know what it means to bleed green. So I feel it, and I know that the accomplishment that you guys and girls, because we have girls on our team as well, that accomplishment, no one can ever say or take it away from you for the rest of your lifetime. So congratulations to you on such a great accomplishment. Where do I start? I wanted to piggyback off what you said. Coach Knapp not only got his 300th win today, this year, but it was the fastest ever by a coach on Long Island or Suffolk County?
Long Island. He's corrected me. It's Long Island.
It's Long Island. So he became the fastest at 300 in all of Long Island. In New York State. In New York State. Sorry, I stand corrected. Just to let you know, this is our team won our county dual championship this year. And just to paint a little picture on exactly what a wrestler is and a wrestling team is, and they can correct me if I'm wrong, but wrestling is a unique sport. It's both individual and team. So when you're out there competing, you're competing by yourself, but you also have the weight on your back that it's also for a team score. So not only are you wrestling out there, but you know that the rest of your teammates have your back with whatever happens on that mat. And this year, it just went our way. It went our way, and those gentlemen over there are your 2022 dual team county champions this year. Our coaches, Coach Knapp, Coach Satilli, Coach Goodfellow, Coach Kohlmeyer, Coach Hudson, Coach Gomez, and Coach Romero. What these guys do to prepare for a season just doesn't come overnight. It's years in the making. The vision that they have, all the way from kid wrestling to the day they graduate and then beyond, because they come back because they are a family, like Mr. Lushna said. It just doesn't come overnight. This championship just wasn't set this year. It was set many, many years ago, and it came to fruition this year, and for that we are grateful. I just want to, something, and I want to speak to the team right now. These coaches, they don't just make you great wrestlers. They make you a great person, a greater person than what you were when you first started. Better leaders, better citizens, and hopefully one day great husbands and great fathers. So to our wrestlers, what you have accomplished this year, it's just unbelievable. What you created, what you made this year, it will, you just with that alone, you can overcome any adversity. So take what you got, take what your coaches instilled in you, and run with it, because for that alone, you'll be a better person for the rest of your life. You're not just leaders on the wrestling mat, you're leaders in the hallways, you're leaders in the cafeterias, you're leaders absolutely in the classroom, And know that you are also great role models for the young generation of wrestlers and students coming through the program. So congratulations on that as well. I want to call up Coach Knapp right now to recognize each and every single one of them individually, because I think they do deserve to be recognized individually.
Absolutely.
And Coach Knapp should come on up, please.
Bring this microphone down a little bit. First things first, I would like to thank Mr. Lochner, Mr. Callen, Mr. Gessick, Mr. Herrera. When we were leaving for the state dual meet championship, we knew something was amiss, that something was going to, they were going to do something for us, but we didn't realize that as we were walking to the bus, that the kids would be out of the classrooms, the band would be there, the cheerleaders would be there, and they gave us a send-off that anybody that walked through that, so-called gauntlet of fame, going onto that bus to go up to Syracuse for the States. What Brentwood did for us, this is my 30th year in the district coaching, and that was one of my greatest memories, walking through that hallway. I was kind of sprinting towards the bus, but the smiles on the kids' faces, I watch the video all the time, and so I appreciate you guys for making that happen for our boys, because that was a beautiful moment for us. I have amazing coaches that I get to, do this with, so I'm not going to introduce the boys without those guys. So Martino Satilli, come on up here. Coach Jared Hudson. Pedro Romero's here. All right, unfortunately, James Colmeyer is not here. Alex Gomez is not here. Pedro, come on up. Yeah, Pedro Romero. And Coach Jerry Goodfellow couldn't be here today. His, as he said, his social director said he can't go. He has to go out to dinner with her. So, meaning his wife, Anna. But this year was such an incredible moment for us, and we worked so hard. It's been a lot of years in the making. We knew this. We had a special group when they were in middle school, and we tried to cultivate them. I've taken these kids to Virginia, Pennsylvania a couple of times, and we've gone, the East Coast for tournaments, because we knew, if we kept together, we were going to achieve greatness, and that's exactly what we did. We had an amazing leadership this year, and I see the pulse of our team straight looking at me like that, with that handsome eye right there. And if it wasn't for this young man just taking the pulse of the team and being the liaison between the kids and us coaches, I don't think we would have been as successful. And he proved it on and off the mat, and he was our leader all year. And Devin Walker, league champion. Come on up, Devin. Devin, you got to come on up. There you go. All right. One of our senior leaders as well, 10th grade, knee surgery, missed the season, missed half the season. 11th grade, tendons in his fingers came out, hand surgery. This year, he came out like a champion, right? He's currently going up to New York State championships next weekend. He's a league champion. That's Gabe Willens.
Wow.
Devin Walk is also a league champion, by the way. One of our other leaders, this young man was one of my students at North Middle School. To say I loathed him would have been an understatement, but he was this goofball kid that I knew I would fall in love with when he got older. But he's one of my best friends, and he was a great member of the team. Francisco Gonzalez, all-league wrestler. I didn't loathe him. It was more like, this guy again. All right. I'm going to introduce our next guy before he takes his shirt off. Michael did a lot of off-season weight training, and he has big chest muscles that he likes to show at every gathering. So let's get him out here. He might be too hot over there. This is League One champion, Michael Hernandez. Keep your shirt on, Michael. They're all women here. All right. Right there, that goofy guy with the glasses right here. This is all league. Julian Perez. He's only a junior, so we're going to have him next year as one of our leaders. The next young man with the maroon, that's Brandon Reynoso. He's a 138-pounder. He's an all-league wrestler as well. Hiding in the back is Kyle Walker. He's a two-time all-county wrestler. One of the backbones of our team. Went up to 118 if we needed him, 126 if we needed him. It didn't matter. He did anything for the team, and that's Kyle Walker. All right. We got our big guy, Elmer Cruz. Elmer Cruz, I got to pick him up every day at his house and drop him off. And his feet smell really, really bad too, by the way. We got right there. We got Kendricks Polici, the last half Italian guy left in Brentwood. Come on up, Kendricks. He's an all-league wrestler as well, only a junior. All right, we have Ryan Rosado. He's one of our young guns. Ryan this year wrestled 152 for us. Then we needed him at 160. He went up. He'll do anything for the team. He's definitely in our future plans. That tall guy in the back is Mayan Batson. Mayan has done incredible work, making better decisions, and we're real proud of him. For him to still be here as a senior, because he wasn't making good decisions early on, but he turned it around in the classroom as well as everything else. So we're proud of him. Even though his last report card was basura, by the way. So we got to get that. All right. I got that guy in the maroon sweatshirt. That's one of our young guns, our 9th grader. That's Aldo Perez. Come on out, Aldo. All right, we have Warrior. All right, this is the guy that, he's a soccer player, but he wrestles, and he's just like that guy that, every time you wrestle, it's like getting punched in the face, but he's a beast. That's Juan Hernandez, all-league wrestler as well. All right, I kept those 3 guys for the end because, these 3 guys have a great story that's way too long for this evening. But those 3 guys made each other extremely great wrestlers, and all 3 of those guys are all county wrestlers. One of them's a senior. He took 4th in the county this year. And the other 2, we have a 9th grader and a 10th grader, and they're going to be the backbone of our team for the next couple of years. So first I'm going to introduce Frankie Kessner, all-league at 4th in the county. And we got the 2 Jasons, all right? We're going to have them walk up together. That's Jason Quake and Jason Useda, League 1 champions. All right, Jason Quake is only a 9th grader. Jason Useda is only a 10th grader, and they're league champions, all county guys. And we're going to be here once a year honoring, those 2 guys as well. So, these are our guys, and we're real proud of them. And we work so hard, and I couldn't be more proud of these guys. It's a family. We have a faith principle that we put on all our clothes, our shirts. It's an acronym for family, appreciate, industrious, truthful and trusting, and hope. And we really follow that faith principle. And this year, it really worked really well. And we couldn't be more prouder than. It's one of the greatest moments of my life. If my wife was here, I'd say the wedding day, but not as much. But I knew how that was going to work out. So this is definitely was a lot better, but that's okay. She knows who she married. But one of the greatest, these guys gave me one of the greatest moments of my life. So I thank you guys, and I thank my coaches for being side by side. Thank you.
Coach, I just want to say it's not over. What do you got? 4 going up to the States this weekend coming up?
4, yeah.
We got 4 next weekend. We got 4 young men going up to the States.
Devin Walker, Gabe, and the 2 Jasons are going up to New York.
Wow.
Tournament.
So best of luck, gentlemen. Thank you.
Coach Knapp, on behalf of the Board of Education Central Administration, we have a certificate for the team. It reads as follows. This certificate is awarded to the Brentwood High School boys wrestling team in honor of your League 1 dual meet championship, your discipline, exemplary sportsmanship, and perseverance. Congratulations. Coach Knapp, we have a certificate for you on behalf of the board and central administration. This certificate is awarded to Ralph Napolitano in honor of your 300 wrestling wins as coach and your commitment to helping all Brentwood student athletes understand the importance of teamwork, perseverance, and always encouraging them to do their very best. Thank you so much. I think it's picture time.
All right. We can do this. A little tired. You don't pass.
If you don't crash.
One round for the sign. Guys in front.
On three, we gotta say champions. Ready? One, two, three. Champions! All right. Mask off. And we say Brentwood on three. All right. Ready? One, two, three.
Nice job, Callan. Nice job.
Is it fine?
That's fine. No problem. I said you I got it.
I'm going to pass this off to you. Would you consider it?
Okay.
So I'm just going to pass this off to you.
Yep. Just a reminder. Yep.
So if I can just say, what a spectacular presentation. I think that there isn't anybody out there that can deny that Brentwood is moving forward. We're on the rise. And what I got, and I think that everybody sensed in this room, was a tremendous amount of love and caring that each and every one of our teachers and every adult who is interacting with our children has for all of these kids, MIT kids, Maria, and the wrestling team. And I don't think that we can ask for anything more as a community. This is why we have the staff that we have. This is why we have the teachers involved with our students. They are role models. And if you couldn't sense the love that Coach Knapp had for those kids, I don't know, I don't know what to say, because that was truly what I got from this. It was a camaraderie between, I want to say, almost father and sons, and we're truly blessed for that occasion. So, Mr. Loshner, I think that there are wonderful things happening in this district.
A lot of great things.
And we're still in a pandemic.
That's right. That's right. That's a good point. That's a great point.
Yeah. So,
We have our student liaisons at the top of page.
yeah, so we're moving on. Just to the students that are here, you're more than welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but we understand that you are incredibly busy inventing and experimenting, and you are bogged down with a tremendous amount of homework. We understand your dedication and loyalty to the academia. So if you would like to exit, we totally understand that this is where you would do that. All right? But you're more than welcome to stay. We're moving on to our agenda items. And we are going to ask for our student liaison. I believe it's Priscilla De Jesus and Mauricio Diaz.
Mauricio can't make it tonight, so it'll just
Okay.
be me. Okay. So I just wanted to, hold on, sorry. Wanted to say, hello everyone, my name is Priscilla De Jesus and I am the Student Council President in the Ross Center. I am here on behalf of the student body to present our findings for the month. So, February has seen the reintroduction of many events in the high school. This past weekend, the Arts Department held a long-awaited musical, The Addams Family. The high school had the greater honor of inviting senior citizens from the community center to view the musical in a free private showing on the 10th. The department then hosted 2 showings on Friday and Saturday night, open to the entire community. Performers, directors, and viewers alike were so excited to see this program make its grand return. Despite complications along the way, viewers were left in awe at the collective efforts of the department. This morning, a school-wide assembly was held through the company Team Truth. Aimed at empowering student voices, our guest speaker, J.C. Pohl, spoke to the student body about forming genuine connections within our school and community. The hour-long assembly hoped to address the many roots of bullying and self-esteem issues that are growing at alarming rates among teenagers today. The last time an assembly was held was in 2019, and it was nice to see this advancement towards normalcy in person. Since the peak of Omicron infections just last month, Brentwood, much like the rest of New York State, has seen decreasing infection rates. With Judge Thomas Raidmaker's ruling late last month, Brentwood saw the potential for mask-optional schools in the near future. While many schools eagerly await to remove their mask mandate, we must remember Brentwood is not like the other school districts. Crowded hallways and classrooms bring up concerns among the student body. Aside from its large size and population, Brentwood faces other distinct challenges amidst the pandemic. A significant uninsured and undocumented population cannot afford medical bills upon infection. Many of our residents can't afford to miss work because they can't apply for unemployment or disability benefits and rely on their jobs to feed their families. While we all long for a future without concerns over COVID, the Board of Education and our superintendent must take these concerns into account before making a decision once it becomes available. Our principal, Mr. Callan, has brought it to our attention that the policy committee on the dress code has met. I would appreciate any information that can be offered on its rewriting and its implementation into the high school. Lastly, Mauricio Diaz and myself would like to thank the Board of Education for allowing us to present our findings this month. We hope everyone enjoys their mid-winter recess, and we hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Ms. De Jesus, I think that you asked about the dress code, and I would like to, if I could, put Trustee Moore on the spot. She is the committee chairperson for the policy committee for the Brentwood School District, and I know that they have been actively working on addressing this. Ms. Moore?
We did meet. We had very, very good discussion. And our, I believe it's Dr. Vincent Leon is going to, or if he hasn't, he's going to meet with the other stakeholders, Dr. John Callan, principal, and some of the cabinet and the superintendent. And we'd also like to meet with one of our students to get their input as to what they feel about it. We just don't want to go and make the policy and not include those people, because it's very, very important. Things have changed a lot since that policy was first written. So we want to bring it up to date as to what's happening now today.
Yeah.
So if it's taken a while, we really want to do this and do it right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just so that you know that the policy committee has taken into consideration input and feedback from the student body. So your voices are being heard loud and clear, and sometimes it takes just a little bit of time to get these things done. But in the meantime, those concerns have been voiced to Superintendent Lochner. He has made some informal adjustments already in terms of how it is that we are enforcing these policies to make up for some of the time that we need for the policy committee to enact these changes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Oh, no, thank you, thank you. Solicitor, I am going to now go to questions from the community on agenda items, and I have 3 documents here that pertain to one topic, and that is the topic about the termination clause, 60-day termination clause in your contract. I have asked council about whether or not that we could address this, and I've been advised that we can't address this, but certainly you could address it if this is something that you would like specifically. If I can give these to you,
Okay.
you could review them, and if there is no obligation to say anything
Sure.
at all, Mr. Loshner, at all.
No, I understand. Thank you, Mr. Feliciano. Okay, and thank you to everyone who has expressed concern about the early termination clause that was in my contract. I don't know if I can speak about an upcoming resolution, but, my contract will be voted on tonight, and I do want to say that that early termination clause has been removed by the Board of Education. And, and thank you, everyone who, voiced a concern about it. I would like to say that, I'm very grateful for everything, and I'll say that later, I guess, but I'm very grateful for everything that has occurred. That early termination clause, I'm glad it's removed. I have to say that no one on the Board of Education ever approached me about it. I'm glad it's removed, but I was never, what's that? I said nobody ever approached me about it, in other words, terminating me. Yes. No, in other words, you never exercised that clause, is what I was trying to say. And I appreciate that. I'm glad it was removed. And I do, again, I want to thank everybody who was for that. I'm trying to not say so much right now, because I think that later on you're going to vote on my contract. So I don't want to, say something prior to it being approved. I don't know how the vote's going to go, so we're going to wait. But I do want to thank everybody. And I'm glad that the clause is not in there. But I do want to say, I don't know how I'd phrase this, but a lot of people were concerned for that clause. I actually never mind, working on the edge. So it didn't bother me as much as it bothered other people. It bothered my wife, I will be honest with you. But it bothered other people, but it never, seemed to bother me too much.
It bothered me.
Yeah, and it bothered me, and I do appreciate that, Cindy. And I do appreciate you, there were many people who, as I said, looking out for me. And I cannot thank you for your friendship and your kindness, and really looking out for me. And I know that a lot of people who expressed concern about it, they were looking out for me. And I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Hassan. I appreciate that very much. But as I said, I'm glad it's out, and I look forward to seeing how the vote on the upcoming resolution goes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Loshner.
Okay.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank
All
you.
right. So we are going to move on to the consent agenda. B1A through B1M. We are going to table an item on that. So I'd like to have a motion to be resolved that the following item be tabled. We're going to table B2K. Could I have a motion, please? Motion by trustee Burgos. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by trustee Safiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. So now we are going to vote on, be it resolved that the following items be approved, B1A through B1M, with the tabling of B2, actually, that's for the second one. So be it resolved that the following items be approved, B1A through B1M. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Could I have a second? Could I have a second? Second by trustee Felix. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. So be it resolved that the following items.
Microphone, please.
The microphone.
Microphone's
not on.
Be it resolved that the following items be approved, B1A through B2T, with the tabling of B2K.
B2.
Okay. Be it resolved that the following items be approved, B2A through B2T, with the tabling of B2K. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Safiri. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Moore. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Be it resolved that the following items be approved, C1A and C1B. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Gonzalez Prescott. Could I have a second? Second by trustee Safiri. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. We're now moving to the D items. D1A, appointments, resignations, and leaves of certificated personnel as proposed on the agenda. Could I have a motion, please? Who was that, I'm sorry? Motion by trustee Felix. Could I have a second?
The last vote was up to B2T, or was that C1A before this?
B2T.
So,
No, we did the C
we
item.
did the C.
We did the C item.
The C was Maria.
Yes, we did the C.
I'm sorry, before we move forward, District Clerk Kathy, could you just please confirm that you have the info for that last motion, which was C1A and C1B?
No, I just received it from the.
Okay.
So can we proceed with D items? Okay, so we're on D items. D1A, appointments, resignations, and leaves of certificated personnel as proposed on the agenda. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Moore. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Burgos. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. D1B, appointments, resignations, and leaves of non-certificated personnel as proposed on the agenda. Could I have a motion, please? Motion. Second by trustee Safiri. All in favor?
Aye.
It was on.
Abstentions? So moved. We are on D1C, agreement between a staff member and the board, and the board.
Although the mic keeps going on.
Could I have a motion, please? Okay. So we are on D1C. Agreement between a staff member and the board of Brentwood Union Free School District as proposed on the agenda. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Gonzalez Prescott. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Safiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. D1D, reappointing superintendent of schools. I am going to read this because there is going to be an amendment, and the amendment is going to read as follows. So, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Brentwood Union Free School District hereby reappoints Mr. Richard Lochner as superintendent of schools for a term of 3 years, commencing on July 1st, 2021, and ending June 30th, 2024. Be it further resolved that the board hereby authorizes the board president to execute a written agreement with Mr. Richard Lochner effective February 17th, 2020, establishing the terms and conditions of Mr. Lochner's employment as superintendent of schools, and the board hereby ratifies the agreement. Can I have a motion to amend?
Mr. Feliciano, I just wanted to note that I believe you meant to read February 17th, 2022.
They're cutting off.
So 2020. Yeah, the microphone is just, all right, you know what? Okay, I will reread that. Wait, does everybody understand it's 2022? Okay, so motion to amend?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Moore. Second?
Well, that's me.
Trustee Gonzalez Prescott, can I have a second? Second by trustee Burgos. All in favor to amend?
I abstain.
To amend it?
It's to amend the date. Yeah, sure,
Date?
The day, yeah,
sure. So it's just a motion to amend.
day.
Before we vote, I just wanted to have a discussion. That the reason we're doing this is because it is a 3-year term that encompasses this year. So it ends at 2024, even though it's only 2 years. This makes it a clear term, correct?
Yeah.
That's a 3-year contract, because this year is school.
So is there, the motion to amend was from Ms. Gonzalez Prescott? There was a second, trustee Burgos?
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstentions? So now we're going to vote on the amended resolution. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Brentwood Union Free School District hereby reappoints Mr. Richard Lochner as Superintendent of Schools for a term of 3 years commencing on July 1st, 2021 and ending June 30th, 2024. Be it further resolved that the board hereby authorizes the board president to execute a written agreement with Mr. Richard Lochner effective February 17th, 2022, establishing the terms and conditions of Mr. Lochner's employment as superintendent of schools, and the board hereby ratifies the agreement. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Gonzalez Prescott. Could I have a second?
Second.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Moore. All in favor?
Vote, please.
Okay.
Trustee Burgos?
I just wanted a discussion before I vote.
Sure.
I am going to vote yes. Thank you.
Your microphone.
These mics today, I'm so sorry. So I am going to vote yes. I just want to say that I just wish it was a 3-year contract moving forward, and not just retroactively, so that we could have Ms. Lochner for an additional year.
I think we will get him.
I appreciate that you're accepting this, but I do think that there is some room for improvement. But I am grateful and happy, and hopefully we will be able to welcome you. My vote is yes.
Ms. Felix?
I vote yes, same reasons as Ms. Burgos.
Yes.
Holden?
Oh,
Moore? Yes. Trustee Gonzalez?
yes.
Trustee Sapir?
I abstain, but I want to thank you for taking that out of his contract. But I also want to say, the new contract lists some multiple things that I'm not in agreement with. The new changes don't go far enough to protect our superintendent and his ability to lead our district by himself without us telling him what to do or certain people on the board telling him what to do. So that's why I abstained from the vote.
I'm a yes.
Your mic.
I am a yes. Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Lochner.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. I would like to say thank you to the board, to each member of the board. I am really grateful and thankful for your support and for your trust in my ability to lead this outstanding district. I think it's just an incredible place, and I've been blessed every moment I've been here. And I've been thankful for every moment I've been here. And I would like to say, I know that there's been some, stuff that's been out on the Facebook. And I don't have Facebook, but I am aware of things going out there. And I want to say that first, thank you for people who supported me and people who didn't support me. I hope I can get your support over the next few years. But I also, want to say, and I feel strongly about being honest about this, that I did have another year in my contract, and I want to thank Ms. Safiri. Actually, it was a couple of months ago that she brought it up in an executive session. Hey, we have to do something about his contract. And then other members of the Board of Education, Ms. Moore, said, we have to do something about that. And honestly, if you read in the contract, I was actually obligated to send a letter to the board much earlier in the spring. And for some reason, it wasn't something that I was really even aware of. And I know I spoke to several board members, they were not aware of it. And, you know, I think a lot of people just thought I was going to continue, you know, with another year. But it was actually under my obligation to write that letter to the Board of Education. And I'm very grateful that they actually looked the other way, because I actually didn't follow something that was in my contract.
You know, I don't mean to interrupt
Sure.
you, but what you were doing before school opened was something that no other superintendent had ever done. You were, first of all, with the pandemic, you were trying to set up how we were going to educate our children. You were giving out food for in this community. There was so much you were doing that I don't know how you would have even thought about it, because we didn't think about it. It was mostly, it was like you were going to be here forever. You
Well, I'm
know?
not going to be here forever, I will
But
tell
I
you.
know that. But can I tell a Rich Lochner story? And I want to get this
Thank you,
out.
Paul.
I haven't even said it to you.
No,
My sister passed away, and my sister passed away. She had started a preschool in South Jamaica, and when she wanted her, the church that she was going, that we were going to have the service in, it was in a community that we hadn't been to in 50 years. And this was in South Jamaica, pretty rough community. Rich Lochner came to her service by himself, and he stayed as long as we could. I can't tell you what it meant to me, and and to my family, to have you there, Rich. And it just showed your humanity and your empathy and sympathy. And
Well, thank you, Paula, thank you.
I just can't.
Well, thank you. Of
You know.
course I would, but of course I would come, you know.
But a lot of people did not come. I didn't expect anyone to come. Because it wasn't something that was here in West Islip and Brentwood. This was pretty far away. You got to the church before we did.
Well, that's actually surprising, actually.
Yeah. But
uh,
you don't
thank
know
you.
what it meant to me and my family.
Wow, thank you, Paula. Yes, you've never said that, but of course I would be there. Thank you. But again, I want to say that the board has been very supportive, and I do want to say that the board has been terrific to me. You know, as I said, a lot of people are always worried about me, and I really am thankful for that, because I consider each one of the board members a friend. I really do. You're a colleague and you're friends, and I love talking to each one of you individually, and I appreciate, you know, your support of me, but I also appreciate your friendship. And, you know, we've worked through some very tough times over the last 5 years. You know, COVID really threw us for a loop. And I do have to say that, you know, I'm very familiar with lots of other school districts, and lots in, obviously, every single one in the town of Islip. And I've always been proud to say that I think we handled COVID better than really most other school districts. And collectively, we have to take a great deal of pride in that. I'm not saying it's perfect. And I also want to say that, you know, I will always feel bad, as every educator involved in Brentwood will always feel bad for those students who lost, you know, quite a bit over those 2 years and are still suffering. But I think that we are doing everything possible to try to reach all of our kids. And I'm very proud of that. And the Board of Education handled it beautifully as well. And although there's lots of disagreements among the board, and, you know, they really are. And you know what? That's, you know, not necessarily a bad thing, because eventually the right decision is, most of the time, the right decision is reached after there's quite a bit of contention. And you people in the community should know that you have board members who, man, are they passionate, and they care very deeply about the district and the kids. Of course, there's disagreements about maybe decisions that have to be made, and there's, you know, quite a bit of arguing going around, you know, on. But, you know, at the end of the day, I really do believe, and that's why I can talk to each one of them, I really do believe each one of them cares about the district and tries to move it forward in their own way and their own vision, and I really do value being a part of that. If I didn't believe in this district, I wouldn't be here, but I believe in it so much, and I believe in this Board of Education, and I believe in the teachers and the students and the administrators and the community at large. I think is an amazing community. So I am so thrilled for this contract, and I appreciate, people asking for additional years. I don't know if I can make it.
You can make it and you will do it.
Yeah. It is.
Oh, you can.
Sure, everybody says that. Sure, I can. But man, oh man, if you live through some of these days. But you know what? It's every single day. Although sometimes I go home, and I tell you, I can feel I'm tired in my toenails. It is that much. It affects me that much. But the next day, I love just getting up, and I love coming to work every single day. Thank you very much, and thank you, everybody, for your support. And I am really grateful and moved by it. Thank you.
Mr. Lochner, we need to make sure that you're able to do your job and do it well. So this is really like a big accomplishment, because it's not about us, it's not about you. It's really about where the district is going,
Right.
and how the district is being led. So
Right.
I thank you for that pain in your toes and your toenails and everything, because I know you put in all the hours, and I just want you to know that it's appreciated.
Thank you. I appreciate it too. And I think I've said this before. Like I said, I love working with this Board of Education. I really do. And I do want to thank my cabinet too. And it's really one of the reasons that I continue also, because, and also I'm looking not just my cabinet. I think we've hired some tremendous people, teachers and administrators over the last few years that, again, this board was very much involved in. And I think they should take a great deal of pride in who we've hired over the last few years, because I think we've put a lot of great people in place so long after I'm gone that they're going to do great things for this community. And I love the new teachers that we're hiring, and the amount of effort and time that we're putting into the hiring process, I think has not been seen in many, many years, and I'm very proud of that as well. And then, as always, I'm always proud of the students. I think what they've done is tremendous. I really do. I marvel at them. I wish everybody had the opportunity to go through our elementary schools. They are just beautiful places as you go through them and you see our kids progressing. And as you can see what happened here tonight, the high school and the middle schools and the freshmen center, they're all moving forward. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people accuse me of seeing things through rose-colored glasses. I do at times. But I'm aware we have lots of warts and we have lots of things that we can improve on. We're working on it. It's a work in progress. And, we never hide from problems. We address them head on. Some problems can be fixed quicker than others, some a little bit longer. But that doesn't mean we're ignoring them.
Mr. Lochner, I just, if we can just revisit one of those conversations that we've had, kind of like, intimate conversations, you and I just alone, just reflecting on the last few years. We walked into this whole board, right, walked into a very, very chaotic, dysfunctional board and district because of so many different factors. And one of the things that we committed to doing was to clean that up. And it's so easy for us to forget about where it was that we started 5 years ago and how far we've come. That was a commitment. That was a commitment that this Board of Education, you central administrators, made in terms of moving us forward, bringing us to a new level of respect that I think was lost. And that's what I appreciate the most, I think, out of all of the colleagues on the board and you and your team, in that I think that we've come a very, very long way in the last 5 years. And it's so easy for us to forget where we were because we're moving in a positive and forward direction. And I just wanted to be, thankful and, be grateful for that.
I just want to remind us also that we had a choice to make 5 years ago, and I walked into this board as a new person, and the proposal before us was to give Mr. Lochner a one-year interim contract. And thank goodness that we were able to bypass that and give him the 3-year contract, and then renew it, and now renew it again. I think that was the best decision that we ever made. So I
Absolutely.
know there was some contention early on about that, but thankfully, you've been
Absolutely.
given the opportunity to lead. And we thank
Absolutely.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you, Julie. Yes, thank you.
congratulations, and I'm going to say that I think it's picture time.
Oh, my.
I think that if we could have a picture with Mr. Lochner, celebrating his
Okay.
renewal, I think that would be wonderful.
Nothing else, we can say we have the coolest superintendent. He rides a motorcycle.
Which hopefully that weather is coming up soon. You know what?
That'll
Can
be
I
your
ask?
retirement picture when the time comes.
Could I ask everybody here to take the picture?
So if we could do two separate
Two
pictures.
separate pictures? Let's do it, man.
That'd be great.
Because then I mean, we have people here I'd love to have
Sure.
with me as
And
well.
maybe and then with everybody?
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Let's get in there. Let's have some fun. Okay.
It's happening to you. Mine went off and on. I don't use it.
Everybody in the audience. Come on.
Come on, Dora. Come on, Dr. Jackson.
Come on. Come on. Mr. Hudson. Come on. I'll get one with you all.
Oh, we said it right.
Come on. Brentwood? Yeah. On three? 1, 2, 3.
Come on, Nick.
Thank you. How about a big round of applause for Mr. Loshner? Unfortunately, we have to continue with our meeting.
We haven't done that in a long time, so your cheek muscles are not.
So we do still have another part of our meeting. It's old and new business. I do know that Mr. Loshner has a couple of things that he'd like to touch upon.
Okay. First, as was mentioned by Priscilla earlier, but I still want to say it, congratulations to the high school performers. They actually did the Addams Family musical. It was phenomenal. I had a chance to be there Friday night with many of the people here in the audience. I tell you what, the dancing, the choreography, the singing, the timing, the acting was just incredible. It really was like watching a Broadway musical. It was that good. The Pit, too, which, by the way, is mostly all our students and a couple of teachers in there. The Pit sounded, the orchestra just sounded amazing. It really was a great musical. A lot of fun, a lot of energy, so I really enjoyed it. I would encourage you, every time Brentwood has a musical, you guys go out and see it, because it really was that good. Yeah. So, many schools are celebrating Black History Month in unique ways, which I'm very grateful to all of the schools for doing this. In addition to the Long Island Museum Project, Lizzie Jennings demands a seat at the elementary level. Teachers engage students in research across our schools. Really is terrific that they're reading that book in the middle schools. I'm sorry, in the elementary schools. At East Middle School, students in the special education setting delivered oral presentations on alumni, administrators, and famous Black Americans. At North Middle School, students highlighted the legacy of African American leadership for the present and future. And on Monday, March 21st, at Young Authors Night, students in grades K through 8 will celebrate Dr. King's nonviolent principles. The event starts at 7 p.m. and will be held at the high school to accommodate all students and their families comfortably. Will we also be televising that? Do we know? I think we probably should and could. I know we could. Really looking forward to that. And once again, thank you. The month of February is a great month in February.
It's my birthday.
Besides it being your birthday, it actually, I love the way the schools really celebrate Black History Month and really put lots of effort, God bless you, puts lots of effort into it. And I love the way, there's so many other things that they're doing. I'm in schools every single morning and they're reading about famous Black Americans, and I think it's really a rich cultural experience for all of us and very valuable. And I want to, again, thank everybody for doing that. Also, on the social emotional front, our buildings are holding engaging activities to re-engage students and build their spirit. As you heard this evening, the high school actually even had a whole school assembly today, which is terrific. Many schools celebrated P.S. I Love You on February 11th. The purpose of P.S. I Love You Day is to spread light on the importance of being kind to ourselves and others. It emphasizes the importance of embracing differences, choosing kindness, and lifting each other up. Our students and staff wore purple, and I have to tell you that it really was amazing the amount of purple that was across the district, and they wore that to show support and embrace these themes I just described. Many schools participated in legislators Gonzalez Valentine's for Veterans campaign to instill empathy for the service men and women who cannot be with their loved ones during this time of year. We want to thank Sammy Gonzalez for putting that together every single year. Yep, we can clap for that because it really is wonderful. Also, North Elementary began their Beautiful Me program with their 4th grade special education classes. The program focuses on lifting girls' self-esteem by helping them to think about themselves with confidence and greater insight. This year, with the help of their guidance counselor, they will also be providing boys with engaging activities to promote their self-esteem and self-perception. Students at Laurel Park had a virtual visit with Letty Sustrin, former teacher for 38 years, that's right, and Brentwood, and author of The Teacher Who Would Not Retire. If you know Letty, you know that she is a dedicated educator and a dynamic storyteller. The Office of Special Services is introducing the Picture Exchange Communication System to improve the education of our students with autism in our Level E programs. We are extremely excited to have this innovative new assistive technologies in the classrooms. Thank you, Ms. Young, for spearheading that in your entire department. Congratulations to the Brentwood Cheerleaders. They made it to the Nationals in Disneyland. Actually, I think it was Disney World, not Disneyland. Disney World, and had a spectacular time and made Brentwood proud. I saw some pictures, and I tell you what, they were beaming from ear to ear. I really can't wait to hear from them. Just one of the great things that we do here really was outstanding. I want to thank Jill and Tanisha, the coaches, because they have really built that. It's once again, we have so many great coaches and advisors who, if you watch them for a few years, they actually build programs. And the other day, Ms. Ortiz and I were over at the high school for a little event that they put on prior to them departing to Disney World. And there had to be, I don't know, maybe 40 or 50 kids participating between JV and varsity cheerleading. And just a few short years ago, it was a very small group of kids. But when Tanisha and Jill came in, and they're the coaches, they really have built that program and inspired kids to participate. So it's really about our kids, but also our staff members who put so much time and energy into it. Congratulations to the Brentwood girls basketball program. The JV team went 9-5 in their league schedule, losing 2 games by 1 point. This was the team's best season in 7 years, and the varsity team finished overall. Their overall record was 12-6, 8-6 in League One, and they made it to the Suffolk County playoffs. They did fantastic this past Monday. The boys fencing seeded 5th out of 10 teams from league play, and they finished 7th in the county tournament. Our girls fencing program seeded 6th and finished 7th in the counties, and our head girls varsity fencing coach, just another terrific lady who's been with us for a lot of years. Also, I think part of the reason we have such a successful fencing program. Her name is Allison Finfrock, and if you know the Finfrocks, they've been this is a Brentwood family, been with us a long time. Her mom was also, helped out with many years ago with the fencing team. Allison was named Suffolk County Coach of the Year in fencing. It's pretty excellent. Congratulations to Coach Jimenez and the boys varsity basketball team. They made it to the playoffs, and they will go against Huntington tomorrow night at 6 p.m. It's a home, we have a home court advantage because they were the #1 seed. That's tomorrow night, 6 p.m. in the Sondling Gymnasium. Also, the Super Saturday Academy for 4th and 5th grade. Thank you, Ms. Palmer. For 4th and 5th grade, we'll begin the spring session on March 26th. A link to sign up will be sent via Parent Square on February 28th. On March 15th, there will be a half day of student attendance at the elementary level for parent-teacher conferences. Our universal pre-K programs will be closed for the full day to engage teachers in professional learning experiences. Detail and transportation information will be sent out the week we return from the break.
Mr. Lochner, there was one thing that we had talked about bringing forth to the community, and that was just a little bit of an update, brief summary of the COVID tests. If you could just touch on that briefly.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. So I know there were some questions regarding the COVID tests, why we gave it out the way we did. I guess it was about the week when we returned from vacation in January. Reason we gave it out that way, we were in the midst of the height of our pandemic, and we had a limited supply of COVID tests. So what we opted to do, which many school districts similar size did the same thing, we gave it out over one night from 3 to 6 p.m. in the high school. And we still gave out about 10,000 tests that evening, which was close to the maximum, and we weren't sure if we were ever going to get any additional tests, so we kind of wanted to limit it to about 10,000, worked out perfectly, and then we were going to give out the additional tests after that. Well, as it turned out, we didn't know this prior to that day, the state then was committed to sending school districts 60%, a test at 60% of last year's enrollment. So we're getting about 10 to 12,000 tests for the last 3 or 4 weeks, okay? And that allowed us to now give out this week, Tuesday and today, we gave out COVID tests to every single student in the district and to every staff member in the district. They'll all receive one COVID test kit. What we're asking you to do, under no obligation obviously, but we return to school on February 28th. If you feel like you should, you take the test on February 27th. That way you will know that whether you're positive, if you're a staff member and you're positive, you alert us and let us know, and we'll follow the proper protocols. If you're a student, you'll email your school nurse, and we'll also follow the protocols. But that allows us to get ahead of how many, instead of arriving possibly symptomatic, handing out a test, this allows everybody to test the day before and feel comfortable before returning to work. But again, it's not mandatory, we're just asking if you could, take the test. And each one of the box has 2 tests in the box, and the directions are very clear, very easy to take.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lochner. So now we are going to go to public comments. Yep. Erica Barger. Please, come up.
Probably so. A little tall here. Okay. Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time and allowing to hear me. My name is Erica Barger. I am a resident of the Brentwood School District. I live right up the street. My question and concern was, I'm part of the BYA, a parent, a participant for many years. We petitioned to use the high school gymnasium for our opening ceremony, and we were denied. And we were told to choose a smaller building, but in the midst of a pandemic, we're just wondering, why are we being put in a smaller school when we're trying to become socially distant to keep everyone safe? If the date and time is an issue, we are more than willing to work with you to change that so that we can have access to the gym. We are tax-paying citizens, and it is our right to use the facility, because we do pay and it's part of the community, and everyone is served through BYA, students, parents alike. So we would really appreciate a turn in your vote and allowing us to use the building.
Thank you. So just to address that situation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move your entire community comment. I'm going to hand this over to Mr. Lochner. He could look at this tomorrow or in the days to come to see what we can do about solving it. All the information is there.
Okay.
And I'm sure that, he will follow up. The next community comment is Mr. Hudson.
Good evening. My name is Ron Hudson, and I'm a physical education teacher here in the Brentwood School District. I'm here today to just acknowledge the work that the school board does, the services that they render for the community. I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you, because a lot of times there's a lot of things that are thrown at you. But I'm going to take a little time out to acknowledge the board and some things that have been done that I've acknowledged with other people and I would like to share. Follow me on this short timeline. Roughly 12 years ago, the state of New York promised our school district extra funding for our children's education. Well, many years went by, roughly about 7 years, and at that time, Mr. Robert Feliciano, the school board president, recognized that this funding, this aid, never came to fruition. And Mr. Robert Feliciano, he questioned the community, he questioned Albany. He got some board members to go with him up to Albany to find out why we did not receive this aid, this funding that the government once said they were going to give to us. Well, they came back, and for some reason their requests were not met. And Mr. Robert Feliciano, what he then did was he got with the board and they decided to partner up with Old Westbury School District in Nassau County, because they too were promised funding aid to help educate the children of their community. They called community leaders, politicians, board members who could assemble, and they met on the lawn and they spoke out about this aid, this funding that was supposed to have been given to these needed communities. Well, they left and their cries fell on deaf ears once again. But I must say, the school board and Mr. Robert Feliciano, with his initiative, kept moving. They say, you know what Robert said? I'm paraphrasing. Let's file a lawsuit against the state of New York for this aid that we should have received. So he got with the board and they agreed. So they got the district's attorney to file a lawsuit against the state of New York. Well, roughly about 4 years went by, and that was just about a year ago. And the lawsuit actually came through. We won the lawsuit. We gained an additional $40 million for this 21-22 school year, when we thought we were going to be down roughly 10 to 20 million a year or so earlier because of the budget and the pandemic, but instead we were up an additional $40 million. Now I would like to note that roughly a year ago during the school board meeting, Mr. Lochner, the superintendent, made reference to the actions that Mr. Feliciano had shown. He says, what Mr. Robert Feliciano did was a true biblical-like story. He referenced the David and Goliath story in the Bible, where you have little David, the shepherd boy, who dared to take on this giant, Goliath, and he slayed the giant. Well, here we have little old Robert Feliciano, the school board president, who dared to take on the state of New York, the government, this giant, and he conquered this giant. Let it be noted that on that same night, it was said that what Mr. Robert Feliciano and the school board did not just impact the Brentwood community. What they did impacted the lower, poorer income communities all across the state of New York, from Long Island to upstate to Ithaca to Cortland, all the way to Buffalo. These impoverished lower income communities are now receiving this thing they call foundation aid, which is designed to try to help bridge the gap between the haves and the have-nots. I must say that my grandmother, my late grandmother Hudson in the church, she used to say, "Give me my flowers, give me my roses while I can smell them." Mr. Robert Feliciano, I'm going to tell you of the good that you've done while you can hear it. Mr. Feliciano, it's you, it's people like you that helps to make this world a better place. Ron Hudson Brentwood on YouTube.
Thank you so much for all of those kind words, and I wish that I was the only person who did this, but I am just a fly on the wall of everybody who was behind us. This entire Board of Education voted unanimously to move forward. This was a group effort. This was the team that decided to do something about foundation aid. We did bring other communities and other school districts together, but this was not a solo act by any means at all. I remember having conversations with the Board of Education, Mr. Lotion, I think that was your first year here, and we were tired. We were tired of being beat up all the time because we were, every budget season, it was about, what it is that we have to cut, and we wanted to do something that was going to be heard. To be clear, and just to be very transparent, we did file the lawsuit against New York State at the federal level, but that was not a win. That was not something that we won. We didn't win it in the court. We won it in the court of public opinion. We didn't win it in the court of law. We won it in the court of public opinion, in that there was so much pressure on New York State to do the right thing by the needy school districts like Brentwood, that they had to do something to bridge that gap. And I am so delighted, and I think that everybody here on this board, Mr. Lochner, I think it's the first time in the last 5 years, the last 2 years, that we aren't talking about cuts and that we are trying to talk about how it is that we're going to build infrastructure. So thank you, Mr. Hudson, for all those kind words, but I have to be clear that before the Brentwood Board of Education did anything, we are riding on the backs of Senator Robert Jackson, who actually brought this lawsuit forward in the 80s. I think it was in the 80s. And that is, how all this came about. So we are riding coattails of leaders who had the vision to bring this to a court of law. We weren't the first, but I think that we were the last to join in that effort to sue for the piece that belongs to us. And I believe that that is something worth noting, because this Board of Education, I've said this, right? We are incredibly progressive, incredibly progressive. We actually have, litigation that had to do with protecting the district from overcrowding. That was one of the first things that we did with Heartland. It was unanimous to do that. It wasn't just me, it was all of us. And we sued the developer, we sued Town of Islip, to stop this bizarre notion that 9,000 apartments would have zero impact on the school district. We currently have a litigation that's pending against the DEC for the Omni transfer station that they're proposing at the end of Suffolk Avenue. Again, unanimous. It was all of us. This wasn't a one-man show. This was everybody here with the support of the superintendent and, of course, our council. So thank you for the kind words. This is by no means something that I did on my own. This is something that we did together, and that is something that we should all be proud of. And I think that this is, I've said this over and over again. This is, we may have our differences in terms of this Board of Education, but we're doing some really, really good stuff, and we have done so in the past. We will continue to do so. Now, Mr. Lochner, for another, few years, right? We hopefully this team will stay together, and we will continue to amaze. I think we will be amazing. So,
Robert,
thank you, Mr. Hudson.
I want to thank you for clarifying that, because some of you saw me pass a note to our attorney, because I just wanted to make sure that the information was accurate.
Yep.
And thank you, Mr. Hudson. Those words were humbling, but we really can't take all the credit.
Absolutely.
Even with the lawsuit, we know that we have political representatives that are on the front lines and really fighting for our district and have made great strides. So we appreciate everybody's effort.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. And this is what a community can do together. So, listen, with that being said.
I just want to just add one thing.
Trustee Moore.
Why aren't we celebrating this? On social media, all you hear is chaos and all sorts of things, and not really focusing on the positive things that we're doing. I worked for Brentwood for 28 and a half years, and my kids went to school here, but it was always a thing where our kids never got what they really should have gotten. We never had enough money for this, we never had enough money for that. Now that the money's coming through, we should be celebrating instead of having all of this negativity on social media.
We just celebrated tonight. I think
No,
tonight
no,
was
no,
a
no,
great
we
night.
did not celebrate. I haven't seen anything on social media
Oh, I'm talking
about
about
us
here.
getting.
We just honored so many students.
No, no,
and
I'm talking
faculty.
about getting this money in to do more. Some of the things that we've talked about, some of the initiatives that Mr. Lochner wants to put in place, we should be talking about that.
You know,
'Cause
then
that's
why did we send
positive.
out a
So much
newsletter?
positive stuff on Facebook about what we do.
Yeah,
Oh
there
my
is.
God, nonstop.
It's not.
I see it nonstop.
Well,
Can I
I'm
just
not
say,
on-
Paula,
She-
I
mean,
do,
this
Wait,
one
wait,
puts
wait,
it all over.
Go ahead.
no, I do appreciate your comment.
Exactly,
You're talking
so
about
I don't know how
social
she goes
media,
here.
but I just want to say that we put out information about the district. Unfortunately, the last special edition bulletin that just went out had some great information, but some of it was outdated. We are doing
Right.
Well,
things
that was,
with the
all
money
that was outdated, I'll be honest with you.
was not highlighted on there. It mentioned the pool that was put in
That's
so many years ago.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that was done a long time ago. I want us to put out information that is current and that is relevant. And we do need to account for the
We
money
didn't
that
do
we're
that as a
getting.
board
40,
either.
45 million, another 30
That was
million.
not put out as a
From the
board.
federal government. This is a lot of money, and we do have the onus to be accountable to the community. So I think
Right.
that in the coming months, we need to do a little better. And we need to take
it's
that
better
on.
communication.
And I think we need to be the ones to, put out all the good stuff. And I don't want to negate everything that went on here tonight, because this was a very proud moment for our
This
community.
is beautiful.
So I
And I
hope that,
think last
some of
board
this
meeting
makes
was
it out
the
there.
same.
Mr. Combs.
Hi, just an update on Rich with things that are happening. Ellen Ellerstein and myself are going to give a bus tour of historical places in Brentwood, and that's going to probably be at the end of March.
Fantastic.
And we're just seeing about getting a bus.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So without further ado, could I have a motion?
Can I just say something?
Sure.
Good evening, everyone.
Could you go to the mic?
Yeah, sure.
State your name.
Oh, yeah, I just got to drop it, right? Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Manny Troch.
as everybody knows who I am, and for those who don't, I'm an activist in this community. I'm also a Brentwood fireman, and there's a list that goes on. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone on the board. What can I say? It's tough for our kids here in our community to deal with the fact that Facebook is out there, and we as adults sometimes attack each other and keep going and let our kids learn that education. That's a shame. We as adults are going to the schools, like I went to school, and we learn from what the teachers teach us. So what I'm asking is to at least tone down just a little bit, which is almost impossible because Facebook is Facebook, but tone down a little bit because our kids are looking at this, and eventually the future of them sitting in these seats are going to be horrible for them. We're grown people. And I think that everyone in this room understands there has to be good and there has to be bad. There has to be indifference and there has to be positives. I'm just bringing forward one thing, that we need to work together. Whether the new board, there will be a new board, or whether there isn't a new board, we need to think about the kids that are here now and the kids that are going to be in our future. But if we keep bickering and talking and doing what we're doing, the success of that will be a failure. What you saw tonight and what I saw tonight, and the reason why I'm here tonight, is because of the people and those kids, of what they received. That was important. And that meant more than any of the bickering, anything that's being placed in Facebook, and anything else that anybody ever does. I came from Puerto Rico to come to this country to succeed. There are people here that will do the same. And I appreciate all the hard work that everyone on this board does. And it's not easy. Nobody wants to do that. I'm on the board of directors myself. Believe me, it's not an easy decision to make sometimes. But you have to abide and respect one another. And if you can control this room to respect one another to a point, there'll be more people in this room to follow and listen of what anyone has to say. With this note, I thank you again, everyone, and congratulations on your job.
Thank you.
And I'd just like to say one thing. Tonight on Facebook, of course, everyone will see something that's going on with a fireman, a fellow brother. He's like, I know him anyway, because I've dealt with him. He's from Islip. And tomorrow, he will be coming through our district. Our fire department, Brentwood Fire Department, is going to be probably placing fags wherever they're going to be going by, because he is also a volunteer from the Islip. None of us want to lose a fellow brother. But at the same time, we have to do a job, and that's our job. I just hope that what you can do on Facebook tonight is just send a prayer to my fellow brother and every one of us, because we never know. But again, I appreciate everything that everyone does, but let's think about our kids first, not about us being selfish. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Church. With that being said, I want to wish everybody a wonderful week off on behalf of the Board of Education. I know that next week we have a week off to spend with our family, and I hope that everybody enjoys themselves. Again, on behalf of the Board of Education, have a wonderful night. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Trustee Moore. Could I have a second, please? Second. Second by Trustee Burgos. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Night.
Thank you.